Chat, we're doing a mock draft quick. I don't know how quick it's gonna be, but let's get through it. All right, this is a no trades mock draft, as there's no real reason to trade anything before the final draft order is set, but it's still fun to talk about team needs and like where the talent's falling on the board and what they can do. So obviously, like, you know, if Jacksonville goes ahead and gets the first pick again, that'd be make smart for them to trade out of the spot. But the Raiders, I think there's no reason for them to trade whatsoever. I think, like, we just saw Dion say, yo, draft my boys to the Raiders. So they're going to go ahead and get Shedeur, even though PFF doesn't like Shedeur that much. And I know there's a lot of, like, worrying about his arm strength and a lot of other things. And we'll see. I still think most of the Raiders fans want him. And I'm pretty sure he'd be pretty fun in that city. The Giants also need a quarterback. The first time if their management survives, they'll be able to like develop their own guy. I think they obviously go and look at it. Like you could say, hey, maybe we take talent here and wait till next year to fill this spot. But like, are you really gonna care about Darnold? The problem is their management's, if they have another year of like mid play and like they don't have the excuse of developing a quarterback, I think they're canned. I don't know. I'm a little higher on Drew Aller than a lot of people. I think he's got the traits, like he's got the size, the arm talent. He might go back to school, of course, but he could be a late riser and something I'm going to take. But like, people would hate me if I took Drew Aller here. I like Jalen Milroe. I think my last mock I had Jalen Milroe going to the Giants a little bit later. But we're going to go Cam Ward to the Giants right there. See if they can develop him into the next, I don't know, Patrick Mahomes. That's a little high, but maybe something. All right, so New England at 3 gets a great spot. They have their franchise quarterback here. Drake Mays looks great. Travis Hunter is the obvious solution, but I think they really want to kind of help out like Travis Hunter. There's mixed thoughts about him being better than Ted as a pure receiver, and if I'm New England, desperately need offensive line. But according to most people, I don't think Will Campbell, who's probably going to move to guard, will be worth it at 3. Now, this is maybe you trade back and take your best offensive lineman here, but I think if you can get Tet 6'4", I mean, dude, the problem is like Hunter next to Gonzalez is so beautiful for your defense. This is truly a hard choice for me, and I think New England fans will that's probably what I want. We're gonna go Tet. I think that's okay. The Panthers then, I think they Mason Graham is sexy to run up to pair next to Brown. I think the Panthers here, we're gonna go Travis Hunter at 4. Thinking a playmaker, potentially both sides of the ball. Jacksonville, they need a lot of help across the board. Probably more so with coaching than anything else. I don't know what kind of coach they're gonna get, whether they get Johnson out of Detroit or whatever they decide to do. Dude, what's their biggest need? Everything? I'm going to go Will Johnson for him. I think being able to kind of play like better defense there, you could argue support Lawrence a little bit more. And like I said, it depends on which coach they get next, but we'll go Will Johnson at 5 for a big corner to help them out there. Tennessee Titans, they got 2 great interior defensive linemen as it stands. Simmons and Sweat are out there wrecking fools, so they're going to probably pass on Graham. I kind of want an edge for them. They're not going to pick quarterback here. I don't think Will Levis is completely cooked, even though a lot of people do. Will Levis has the tools of a professional quarterback. The problem is the mental aspect of it, and the bigger issue is the fact that he has 0 times. Pettit Freer, I literally want him to go away. The issue is, are you going to pick a 3rd offensive lineman in the top 10 in like a row? Or I guess Skoronski was like 11. Now, I think Banks has got a better chance, longer arms than Campbell at going at tackle. Campbell might be like the better overall prospect, but I'm going to go Banks here to the Titans because they need desperate help, even with the draft picks. It's not looking good. Even though they have an all-time like Callahan offensive line coach, they should get much better. I do have faith that them going forward getting better, because offensive line is hard to turn it around in 1 year in a coaching situation. The Jets, ooh buddy on the Jets. I don't think they're gonna have Rodgers next year. Jets feel like a Sam Darnold, and what if we go Aller here to the Jets? Are Jets fans gonna go crazy on me? I don't care. We're doing it. You're getting Drew Aller, Jets. That's it. We're drafting you a quarterback. I mean, we'll see him if he rises. If people like him, yeah, go back to school. I like him enough to send him there. I think Consensus are smarter than any individual coordinator. Consensus has him lower, so I'm probably reaching for that, and that might be a mistake. And obviously, things change as we start to learn more about these prospects, as the playoffs ahead plus testing. The Browns, they desperately need a quarterback too. They desperately need one. Now, do I have faith Milroe will be good in Cleveland? Like, it feels like Cleveland would have wanted, one of the other guys closer up here, but they're looking good with Jameis. Will you run it back a year? I think if I'm Cleveland, maybe run it back a year. Man, run it back, get get Genty. I don't think the Browns are an organization that loves drafting running backs in the first round, though. They're like one of them advanced analytics organizations. I think they go best player available, which in my opinion would be Mason Graham, which is like outstanding. If I'm the Browns here, even though I need some other positions, especially I might go Will Campbell, truly. Offensive line's aging. You can get your right tackle back next year, even though he's oft injured. Mason Graham or Campbell for the... I'm gonna go Mason Graham. I think they're just gonna double down on their defense and just good luck stopping him and Garrett both. Chicago desperately needs... Okay, Will Campbell to Chicago, I feel like, is a dream scenario for them. I don't hate their tackles as much as a lot of other people do in Chicago. I think Will Campbell's a great grab because he can just slide inside and help out their absolute porous interior. Now, some of the fault is on Williams for not getting rid of the ball quick enough, but I think offensive line for Chicago, it's kind of crazy how much fans care about offensive line now. Shout out to everybody getting smarter. Everybody used to only want like skill positions drafted. Now fans gravitate to the O-line. The Bengals, you could argue the T. Higgins replacement is needed. I always mess up his name. Iodine. I call him Iodine for short. He might be okay. You get your all back next year, but he's had a couple devastating knee injuries at tight end, so you do need offensive weapons. I'm fine with your running back situation, so we'll pass on Genty. I desperately think it's defense though. I'm gonna go Abdul Carter. They need pass rush. Now they got two good edges there with those Hendrickson and him, and so that's my shot for Cincinnati. Get defense and get it bad. Get after the quarterbacks in the division. The Saints could use a lot of defensive linemen. Saints, your quarterback situation. I mean, I don't think many people believe Carr is who you want to use next year, even though you got him under contract. I don't know. Are you gonna kick the tires on Spencer Rattler? Are you gonna give him a year? I mean, he's a 5th round pick. If you're at 11, I don't know. Milrose got the type of athleticism you could dream on. Milrose staying in the South. Who else do we like here? Ooh, Scorton's a big dude. I like that. 6'4", 285. As the edge, he moves well. Jalen Walker, kind of hybrid. Ursary. Damn. I think if I'm the Saints, I don't think I go quarterback here. I think the move is Nick at this spot to help out along the D-line for you. And I feel like that's the best move forward for the franchise. Obviously, like, quarterback scouting is so hard for, like, people outside, like, inside the NFL teams. So, like, they meet with them. They can tell them, the personalities and stuff. And so I don't love quarterback scouting. I just kind of, like, try and see what they put on film. But so much of quarterbacking is more than that at the next level. The Cowboy, dude, I don't want to be one of those guys. They desperately need help on defense. I would almost go offensive line too. Bro, I don't want to go Genty to him, but it feels like a Jerry pick. You know what? We're going to do an anti-Genty. Genty's the obvious choice. You think it's a lock? All right, everybody's saying Genty's a lock. We're going to go with consensus, even though I think I'd rather fill out another position. Genty's amazing. Just watch him play the game of football. Okay. I don't know. Do you think they made the same mistake of going, like, they went Zeke over Ramsey? Do you think they made the same mistake now? I think Jerry takes Genty. I don't know. Everybody knows they made a mistake then. I feel like at the time they made a mistake too. All right, so we're on to Miami. We're taking our talents to South Beach here. If Miami doesn't take offensive line, I feel like that's a crime against humanity. We're going to go ahead, and Josh Simmons is kind of hurt. I like his talent though. Let's go with the number one tackle on the board, Josh Simmons to Miami. They just, if their entire draft is nothing but O-linemen, Miami did a good job in the draft. That's all, I'll take that. Indianapolis, tight end, the linebacker, safety is what they're saying. Would Indy dip down to help out Richardson? They got 4 receivers they're running, adding another body. I'm a fan of I like Tyler Warren better than Loveland. The thing about Indianapolis is it's so hard to draft for them without knowing the measurables, right? Without knowing how these guys test, because Indianapolis drafts basically completely on how they test at the combine. Like, if you're an athlete, you're a Colt. And without those numbers, we're kind of guessing. So for the Colts, I'll give you... I don't think... Stark's going to be a good athlete? I feel like no. We'll give you tight end Loveland. I don't even like that. I don't even like that choice. We'll go Jalen Walker to the Colts. to play a little off the ball, a little versatile for them. The Falcons. I'm okay with their O-line, okay with their weapons. They got a quarterback waiting in the wings. Penix might even be starting this week with how bad Kirk has looked lately. Although Minnesota's a good defense, it's hard to kind of blame that. But I think D-line is the number one thing for the Falcons. I might even go edge. When was the last time the Falcons had like a dominant edge? It's been like over 10 years. So let's go ahead and give you Mykel Williams. Top edge on the board for the Falcons. You need pass rush pressure. The Cardinals. I don't think their staff gets fired. I have not loved what they've done with Marv this year, although McBride, and it's a run-focused team, which you can't hate. I would wish Kyler, like, he's really good scrambling. I wish they'd use him a little bit more, like, designed to use his legs. So I think what they do is go best available across the board is not a bad point. The argument for Luther here, I mean, you're not even using Marv, but I feel like there's pretty good wide receiver talent a little bit lower. It's not as good as like last year's wide receiver talent lower. Let's think. Let's see. Let's look at defensive line. I think Shamar Stewart is a good look here since he's kind of versatile. Playing across the bottom, playing across the D line. I'm gonna go Stewart here to the Cardinals. Okay, San Francisco. They've had holes at O-line for a long time. Corner they could get. Are they gonna get? Is Ward gonna be a free agent though? I would go. Let's actually do offensive line. Now my thoughts on Ursary, I don't like him as much as a lot of other people do, but if the consensus thinks Ursary's that dude, we got to go with that dude. All right, so I like to trust, like, you know, it's kind of like what we saw with a lot of things. The market always ends up being more efficient than any individual trader. Not even many of those professional stockbrokers or companies can beat just the broader market. The Rams. The Rams are almost, it feels like they're always best player available. Do you think Whittington can step forward if Kupp kind of goes down again? Do you think you got the receiver depth? I feel like I'm not taking a receiver for the Rams. You got Puka, you got some decent pieces there. Yeah. O-line makes sense, but you do have a decent one. You've paid your guard. I think I'm gonna go defense for the Rams. Let's go that Big Benjamin Morrison out of Notre Dame. Kenneth Grant, they have an amazing defensive line. Morrison it is. Tampa Bay. Yeah, the Bucks have Cade Otton. Cade Otton to go to it. So, I don't think tight end's a need for the Bucks. Edge, okay. The Bucks stop here. Wide receiver to replace. What would I do if I'm the Bucks? I feel like the Bucks secondary is the worst part of their squad, though, right? I mean, I don't know. Did Godwin goes away and you go receiver here? Siobhan Ravel, like, if he was healthy this year, he'd be going in this area. Like, I almost wonder, is Ravel going to be able to do even testing this offseason? It's tough to draft somebody hurt. At 19 to jump this many spots. It's either O-line or secondary. You know what? The Bucks, we're going to go Malachi Starks. Even though I feel like Malachi Starks might fall a little bit through the process. He's just like, quote-unquote, best available secondary player. Malachi to the Bucks at 19. And we'll keep it moving on to Washington. They've traditionally gotten a lot of defensive linemen, but they got like a whole new everything now, even ownership. Corner, defense. I really kind of want some help there on offense, though. I think if Burden's here, you take Burden. Even though it's not a need, I think helping out your young stud at quarterback, getting a second weapon would be beautiful. All right, number 21, the chart. I mean, it feels like it makes a lot of sense. I said my favorite tight end is Warren, but the Michigan connection. I mean, is Disley good enough to get you to not take a tight end this year? I could see the needle on a few different spots in the Chargers roster. I think I want Loveland there in LA, the Chargers. All right, Broncos up next. Broncos wide receiver, tight end, it says it's the need. Sutton is getting a little long in the tooth, but he's still making plays like crazy. I don't mind Vele. I mean, he's 27 as a rookie, which is a little older, but yeah, helping out Bo Nix with another playmaker makes sense to me. Tight end Warren, tackle, defensive interior. Who do I got on the defensive interior left? They got Kenneth Grant. Zach Allen, Kenneth Grant. I love their defense right now. Are there major free agents for the Broncos that I don't know off the top of my head? Yeah, I love this range for Kenneth Grant without a doubt. I can even see him going earlier because of his physical skills. I would almost go Buka right here. Could use a running back. I think the reason why I wouldn't draft Genthy is I love so many of these guys. I'm not gonna, since we're only doing a first round mock, I'm not gonna go ahead and tell you what my favorite sleepers are, but I have got, like, I've watched a lot of film on running backs. There is some insane talent. The fact that Singleton they got going in like the 6th round or something should tell you enough about this running back draft class that you're like, hang on, a running back in the 1st or Singleton in the 6th? Woo, buddy. I feel like the Broncos, even though I love Egbuka for the Steelers, go with the wide receiver. Help out Knicks. Help getting another skill position out there. The Seahawks on the clock. I think they need offensive linemen. I think they desperately do. It's probably the weakest part of their team. So we're going to go with Milam here. Top rated player on the board at the position of need. Obviously, I wouldn't get a successor to Geno right here. Ravens. Guard, tackle, corner is what they say the needs is. What am I thought about the Ravens? Could they use in a linebacker? They've been a little bit weaker there. Their defense has fallen off. I could see the point to taking a corner. The Ravens are traditionally best player available almost always. So the board says, I think the Ravens gamble on upside and take Ravel, but Ravel feels more like a 2nd round pick to me. But let's say the Ravens gamble on it. They gamble on the upside because they almost always do that. It feels like that's such a Ravens pick. Getting a big, tall guy that can play amazing for you if he comes back healthy. So that definitely feels like a Ravens thing. The Texans. I'm going offensive line. I would almost certainly want that for Stroud. I've noticed a lot of Texans, they do a lot of long developing concepts this year. We're going to go offensive line for the Texans. Cameron Williams. Best on the board, according to this, and I haven't done all my lineman scouting yet, so I'm just going off their takes. There's a lot of linemen to look through, we'll say that. Green Bay, tackle. They just drafted a tackle this past year. I think they're fine there otherwise, right? Why would you go tackle? You got Tom who's playing well. Was it Morgan who's hurt? Yeah, I don't know if I think that's a need. Defensive interior is 100% a need. Cornerback's a need just because your number one Alexander always gets hurt. I think interior defensive line. I think they're going to I would go Kenneth Grant at this point. Kenneth Grant to the Packers. Ship it. Milroe to the Steelers. I don't think that's a good choice. They got Russell, and I don't know. Are the Steelers going to re-sign Fields? Is Fields going to want to re-sign with the Steelers being just a backup? He'll probably see if he can get a starting job somewhere. They're going to try to afford them both. I think I saw a report out of the Steelers, like some Steelers reporter said that. I don't know if they're going to be able to. They got $60 million in cap, but the quarterbacks might take like 2/3 of that if they try and get them both, right? Russell Wilson's making $40 million this year from Denver. He's probably not going to want that big of a pay cut with how well he's playing. So quarterback development, it is cheap. I don't think they're going to do that though. Like, I would have, if like Drew Aller was here, he already went in my mock because I have him higher than other people. I wouldn't take him. If I'm the Steelers though, I don't like Bond. You know what? I'm going to get spicy, dude. I love Trey Harris. I think, you know what? I think we're getting spicy. Who are my corner options? I also love a defensive interior, but I think I'll wait till round 2 because there's some there's some really decent talent in round 2 here. The Godfather. I love Alfred Collins out of Texas though. Isaiah Bond. I don't like Isaiah Bond. I'm lower on Isaiah Bond than a lot of people. I think I'm gonna go with Trey Harris out of Mississippi. Trey Harris is a big body guy similar to Pickens. So like if they don't re-sign Mike Williams, I would say I don't know where Mike Williams would go, but they don't re-sign Mike Williams. I like that. Give me Trey Harris. All right. The Vikings, running back Regard and CB for them. If I'm the Vikings, I'd probably try and re-sign Darnold. And then like JJ McCarthy's only got 1 year, his first year healthy to actually develop. Their defense is awesome, but I still feel like it could use more talent. I think their defense needs more, even though defense is playing well, I feel like I still want more talent on that side of the ball. They've got a pretty decent rush right now with a bunch. It feels like I always say Minnesota's got a bunch of no-name defenses. Halfback, I feel like if you're drafting a halfback in the first round, you're making a mistake this year. At this range, it's not a bad idea, but do I truly think Hampton and Caleb Johnson are that much better than some of the guys down the board? I think they're a little better, but I think the fall off from the other positions are much greater than running back. Like I think the guys in here, some of the like, dude, looking at some of the tape here, some of the guys down the board, they're giving you 95% of what these guys are giving you. How many edges are great outside the first round? There's like Crosby. and then it's basically all first rounders. And so like you got to understand it's similar, I feel like, for a lot of things. So that's why I don't, even that end of the first round, I don't love it, the running back spot. That's my reasoning, even though we did take Genty because the Twitch chat told me you had to. Vikings though, I'm going defensive presence here. I really love Pierce. I love Pierce for this spot right here. Princely, oh dude, there's some good freaking guys. I see Jack Sawyer sneaking in the first round of a lot of mocks too. We're gonna go Pierce here. I think Pierce might go earlier than that in the draft. The Bills. I feel like you're pretty good. You got 2 good running backs. Obviously your quarterback, your receiver situation. Yeah, I'm fine with the receiver situation there, tight end. I could see the offensive line potential, but like I kind of want defense for the Bills. What do we got on the interior again? I think I feel like some of these guys. Let's go with yeah. Let's get a big. How big? 327 pounds. Yeah, buddy. A big run stuffer up there. Yeah. All right. Eagles, edge. You know what? They got it right. We've had a lot of like these needs be weird, right? Like the Steelers don't need a tackle, they don't need linebacker. They need corner, wide receiver desperately. It's weird. Some of them are right, some of them are wrong. I'm gonna go Princely. For the Eagles. It feels right to me, even though I'm probably wrong. It feels right. That's all that matters. Dang it, because they got incredible interior, and so getting pressure off the edge should help them tremendously on defense. Great CBs now. They basically rebuilt their entire defensive backcourt last year. The Chiefs, you know, they've taken running backs at this range, didn't work out, whereas better ones went later. I would say tight end. I feel like I'm okay with, if Travis Kelce retires, I'm fine with, oh my god, dude, Gray. I'm good with Gray. At least try him out for a year there. Maybe take it. Wait, hang on. Who's left on my board? Tyler Warren's here? No shot. Hang on, chat. All right, that's shit, dog. I forgot Warren wasn't here. Dude, I made a mistake. Warren should have gone earlier. That's how much I like Warren. Okay, whatever. Lions, center guard edge. It says there's needs. Let me think. I think the Lions could potentially center guard edge. I could see the point to corner. You drafted a corner decently high last year. Yeah, maybe not. Lions. Are they going to re-sign Z? I mean, you got Aiden coming back next year. You got, Keem you just signed to a big contract. Linebacker, I feel like you're cool with. You got kind of an older offensive line. Are they going to do the Eagles thing? Where they just, they draft a guy a couple years, then develop him? I actually really don't mind that. Who's the best, though? Ooh, Tate Ratledge is super strong. Zabel? It depends on how well they test. Like, the small school guys, like, you can watch their film and they look good. Like, you got to dominate it at a lower level. But like McCormick, he tested insanely well, and that's why he went in the 4th round last year. Man, I don't know. If you're here, do you reach for an O-lineman, or do you develop Jalen Milroe behind Goff? Goff's only like 29, 30, though. Goff's got like 5 good years left. What if they go crazy on another receiver? Maybe I'll go Amos. You know what? I think at this spot, we're going to go edge for Detroit, and you are getting Jack Sawyer. Jack Sawyer, it's great. It's a great name, a great player, a power rusher. Lions love that. Jack Sawyer, welcome to Detroit. Feels like after the game, he's going to go ahead and save the world. So there's the first round mock for you. Shit there? Let me know where I screwed up. Cam Ward, Tet, Travis, Will. There you go. Hope you guys liked it.